ज्येष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने. Everybody together. Namo Vishnu Padaya Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vasachare Satarine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की श्री श्री गौर निताई की श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की श्रीनिवास वेंकटेश्वर बालाजी की समावेत भक्त वृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा। It comes that? Okay. Shivaji Babu, this is, I told you, If capital small, if I put wrong, it doesn't, it gives problem again. You have to reload it again. How do you do that? Yeah, I should remove this, uninstall now this one. And do, why every time it does it? So last time when I came, devotees gave me almost 20, 25 topics totally. Also, I'm going to typed it all and put it in one sheet and sent me. I have them. But amongst all of them, I consider one topic very important, which is about improving our attentiveness in chanting. So I will speak on that topic today. As you all know, uh, inattentiveness is called as the mother of all offenses, correct, no? Isn't it? Uh, so, inattentiveness in kitchen can cause our food to get burnt, isn't it? Inattentiveness in driving the vehicle with a little carelessness. One time, I remember I'd gone to some housing colony for a program. One person was supposed to drop me back, you know. Mm. So he was, so one person was supposed to drop me back. So he was he was driving the car, I was sitting next to him. So while driving the car, I asked him different things about program and everything. So he became very enthusiastic. He practically took off his hand from the steering and explaining enthusiastically. But we were just coming out of the housing colony into the road, you know. So that time my assistant was sitting behind. So when he came out of the colony, he didn't see what vehicles are going, coming. He just came out like that. He crossed the road. At that time, a big truck was coming like this. Huh? And my assistant shouted from behind, "Was a big truck?" And then he wanted to quickly cross the road like that. But then the other side also, what vehicles are coming, going, he has not yet ascertained the situation. Huh? But he thought that it is better to go and hit on a smaller car than get hit by a truck. So he quickly went to the other side. Fortunately, there was no vehicle on the other side. We reached on the other side. So it was a big shock. If he was moving his hand and explaining about his preaching program and everything, he got too enthusiastic because it was his program, house program. So I was just thinking that uh, sometimes I sit behind and talk to the driving devotee, ask questions. He turns behind and keeps speaking to me. It's very risky, isn't it? It's extremely risky. So whatever work we do, we need attentiveness. In driving, a little inattentiveness or dozing can cause a terrible accident. Kitchen, it can cause accident to the food cooked. Yeah, in the same manner, mm, mm, when we when we do any work, if you are a little inattentive, like here, I'll show you some examples here. This I don't need to explain. You know better than me. See here how they are focusing. You're seeing all the students. Earlier, they were scattered, and their consciousness was scattered. When teacher came, immediately say everybody is sitting. Correct, no? They're attentive. It is too high for them, I think. So you can keep it little low. They don't have to stretch their neck too much. All right. Is all right? Yeah. If you want, you can pull it, maybe move it little low also, is it? All right, yeah. No, we can play on Zoom also. We cannot play on the Acha. Huh? Actually, here it is visible for us. No, rest can see that. Okay, is it? Yeah. Okay. We have broadcast on Zoom. Okay. See here, pouring oil requires also for one teapot to another teapot, correct, no? It requires concentration. Of course, this is a simple small bottle. Sometimes big teapot, they pour oil. When you pour like this, it moves like this. See that? Yeah, oil moves like that. You have to be attentive. Yeah. If you're not attentive, oil is going to pour out. Look at this one. It's welding. If you welding rod is not little away, it gets stuck. If it is too much away, it will never weld at all. And if you've done welding, all engineers have done, correct? Na? In the first year, you practice, correct? Na? So some people can make continuous beads of welding. It requires focus and attention. This, needless to say, you all know very well. Arjuna, many others tried. Arjuna was the one to hit the eye of the bird, isn't it? So, if you put a paper on the rooftop of the house, also it doesn't burn it, unless you collect all the diffused rays. This has a very deep significance. You see, the rays when they are diffused, what are the diffused rays for our mind? Several thoughts, stray thoughts in the mind, worries of the past, fears of the future, you know, and current material absorption in the current situation also. Mhm. So even after we become 1600 devotee, initially devotee, this is one very big problem. Many devotees say that it's very difficult to switch off the mind. Mind is gushing with a lot of thoughts and anxieties and worries and plans, ideas for whatever is going on in our life at that point of time. Uh, this is something which to focus on. So it's like a parade of soldiers coming. Have you seen parade of soldiers? Imagine like you see in a railway station where they are buying tickets in the counter. See, the person in the counter gives you tickets. It takes money and gives. Sometimes he thinks very quickly, I will attend to the fellows buying tickets so that I can be free. But then the more he buys, more he sells the tickets. Hmm. The queue is sometimes 200 people standing in a queue. You've seen that? It keeps coming one after another. Same manner you will see when you are chanting, one thought comes, and then when you are attending to it, thinking that it will get over, then the second thought comes, and the third one, then fourth one. And we get overpowered. Hmm. So one secret of attentive chanting is not entertain that first thought. If somebody is asking, please may I come in, you say, no, not now. Huh? Not now, later, after I finish my chanting. But once we let the first stray thought come in, we attend to it, then the successive thoughts are going to push you and overpower you to such a degree that our chanting is spoiled completely. Mm. So, mm, in the same manner, the past worries are called as, you know, if only. And the future fears are called as what if. Future means always, what if this happens? What if that happens? And past means, if only this happened like that, it would have been better. Mind just keeps going round and round and round. If only, slightly, if it was different, it would be better. Mind always thinks of the impossible. So, if only this, if only that, if only this, it keeps like reeling over and again. And such a kind of thought process, in those days we used to have a gramophone record, you know that? Gramophone record, if you put this, it will keep going like that. Mind also goes like that with the past worries or the future fears also. So, the diffused rays means what? Uh, Try to picturize yourself sitting in a train. Train is going from Pune to Bombay. So you are looking through the window, beautiful Lonavala forests, and mountains and waterfalls. And at the time, you have kept a laptop in the top, yeah? Top of the berth. It's your berth only, you have kept it. Huh? And you have kept another bag below where you have kept a lot of money. So one portion of the mind is consumed by this worry, of the mind, the money we have kept below. Huh? Another portion of the mind is worrying with the laptop. If somebody climbs up, your anxiety becomes more acute. Why he is climbing up, what he will do, even if he's going to sit, isn't it? So naturally, so these are the diffused rays. When you talk about diffuse, see, some diffused rays are for the safety and protection of the things you possess. That is one of the things. And another type of lingering worry is some lamentation in our life which is arising from something which didn't happen the way we wanted it to happen. That is lingering diffused ray of the mind also. Similarly, you know, sometimes dreaming about the future. Actually, dreaming about future is good or bad? It's not bad actually. It is said, goal setting means dreaming with the deadline. And Dreaming without deadline means daydreaming. You call it. Huh? You don't have any clear-cut goal. What do you want from the dream? You keep on dreaming. So therefore, you heard the story of the milkmaid who was carrying the pot on her head, and she thought, I'll sell this milk and buy more cows and then more milk, and then one day I will marry a landlord, some zamindar. If he doesn't listen to me, what I will do? I'll give him a slap, she said. And giving the slap, the pot fell down. She came to external consciousness and saw all the milk was spilled. Of course, this I studied in school days, but I studied another story of a man who was a pot seller. Huh? And when he was also dreaming like that, I think it is that story is said to compensate for the men side also. It's not the only dream, only women dream. Men also dream. So this fellow became angry. He said, if my wife doesn't listen to me, what I will do with her? I'll beat her. And then he took a stick and just started beating, and all the pots broke. Like that they say. But whether it is pot that broke or milk that spilled, the moral is the same. What is the moral? Hmm? Simply daydreaming, huh? Without a goal. So the nature of the daydreamers is when they are doing one thing, they will dream about the other. For example, when you are chanting, you feel, oh, I didn't get enough rest yesterday. Today also, I very tight day. Today also, I'm not getting rest. So uh, in this way, while chanting, we gradually go to doze, we sleep. And the night when you're going to sleep, you think that my chanting was very bad today. While sleeping, you think about chanting. While thinking, you go to think about sleeping. So we mix up things, like we take home to office and we bring office to home. And that type of mixing up is something that causes the mind to be very diffused. Diffused mind means so many stray thoughts in the mind without any singular focus. That's why we're talking about focus here and attentiveness. Here you're seeing a magnifying glass, it is focused on a paper and it's burning a paper. This is talking about the power of singular thought. Thinking one thing at a time, we call it. That means, chant while you chant, eat while you eat, sleep while you sleep, play while you play, plan while you plan, whatever. Hmm. They say that if you do this, you'll become a Superman or a Superwoman. It is said. If you do this, if you can do one thing, not mix. Hmm. Like, there is a time for everything. And when we do that, in that particular time, we have to give our wholehearted consciousness to that activity and not let other stray thoughts intrude with that activity, because that spoils the quality of that activity. Right now? So that type of one thing at a time is very much stressed. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vyavasayatmaka buddhir ekya gurunandana, he says. Bahutaka hyanantasya buddhya vyavasayana. So that ekya buddhi is one pointed attention, and that now in the chanting time, how do we get that type of one pointed attention? That is main theme I wanted to share today. I want to talk more about it. So for concentration, there are three things that are spoken in concentration: attention, awareness, and absorption. So the first is the attention. Attention to whatever you're doing at a particular time, focusing on that. If I'm writing something, I focus on the writing. If I'm chanting, I focus on chanting. If I'm doing Mangalarti, I focus on Mangalarti. So we were in Mayapur. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving a lecture. So he was telling that in the temple hall, when you are standing and taking part in Mangalarti, Radha Madhava are standing along with Ashtasakis. So he was telling that when we sing the Mangalarti, we are not leading, we are following, singing. So Maharaj said, sometimes there are gaps in your singing. One para you sing, and two paras you didn't repeat. And then you directly, fourth para, Chaturvidasi Bhagavad Prasada has come. You didn't, the in between Mahaprabhu, Kirtana, and that we didn't sing. And also, Shiva Graharadhana Nityanana. These two we missed, and we went to the fourth one directly, singing. So, and again you sing one para, and then again 2-3 paras you miss. So you fail to sing also, and you fail to absorb your consciousness also. So, and then Maharaj said, every one of you have a private Paramatma who is witnessing what you are doing. He was telling. And then he said, Some people are jumping in the temple hall because they want to do exercise. He was telling. So they think it's a good exercise. Paramatma will give them a good health because they do it as an exercise, he said. Huh? And then he said, whatever is your attitude with which you do, accordingly you will get the fruits for that activity. For that he was giving this example. So, and then he was telling that therefore he used to always say, chant 10 million times louder. You heard that? He would always say in his lecture, and then devotees will increase the volume. First time, second time, third time, they would do that. So, um, so in the morning, now I'm telling about Mangala Arati, for example, when you are singing a Tulasi Arati or Narsingha Arati, when you are singing also. So there are two things supposed to be done. One is we utter the mantra with our mouth, whatever lead singer is singing. And we also bring our mind along with us. Not that we leave the mind somewhere else. Mind is supposed to come. That means every para, the first para of Samsara Dhamma, if you see, talks about the qualities mercy. Second para talks about Kirtan mercy. Third para talks about Archa Vigraha mercy. Fourth para talks about Prasada mercy. Fifth para talks about Leela mercy. Sixth para talks about Seva mercy. So all this is different forms of mercy, which are coming from the Guru to us. And the Guru becomes a representative of Krishna, and then he's bringing these gifts to us. So the morning song, Samsara Davanala, is actually expression of gratitude to Guru for all that he is doing for us. So remembering the personality of Guru, remembering how he is bringing all these things to me. One devotee had done a very nice Samsara prayers with the Guru in different poses, doing all these different things. And one devotee has done for Prabhupada also like that, isn't it? So if it is made into video, it will be even more nice instead of just still pictures. Mahaprabhu Kirtan, you show, Vaishnava dancing, and then Archa Vigraha is worshipping the Archa Vigraha, correct, no? Similarly, Chaturvedashri is serving prasad, is feeling happy, seeing that the disciples eating prasad like that. So, and he is absorbed in Radha Krishna's Leelas with great enthusiasm. And he is also awarding seva opportunity for all disciples to do service. So, in this way, such a guru is as good as one should treat him as good as Lord Hari. He has the Haritva. Haritva means the quality of Hari, isn't it? And and then such a guru is very dear to Lord Krishna also. So he is a very dear associate of Krishna in the spiritual world. Here he has a sadhana deha, there he has a siddha deha, which is associating with Krishna eternally. So there is some amount of spiritual energy in such attentive and absorbing participation in the kirtan. Yeah, and similarly, Narsingha Arati. Once his Grace Burijan Prabhu was telling, when you are reading Narsimha Leela or you are singing the Narsingha Arati song, at that time, that particular pastime is happening on a spiritual plane. So when you are singing the song, the pillar is broken apart, Narsimha is jumping out, and he is taking Hiranyakashipu on his lap and tearing apart his body, and he is protecting Prahlad and keeping his hand on Prahlad's head. All that is happening at that time. So when so you were telling that one has to absorb one's mind in the pastime, and one has to sing the song, and one has to pray for protection and purification by Lord Narasimha. He purifies our Hiranyakashipu mentality, and he protects our Prahlad mentality, and he enhances that. So, in the same manner, uh, when we are attentive in every activity we do, that attentiveness will also come in chanting also. Now, why did I talk about Aartis? Aartis, in the morning we do Aarti, then we come to chanting, isn't it? Afterwards we come to chanting. So, when we chant, if I am not attentive, my mind is wandering. That means my mind is wandering at other times of the day also, while doing other activities also. Like open my computer, I intend to do one particular work. As soon as I enter, some pop-up comes, and I click the pop-up. And then I see this, I see that, and then after half an hour, 1 hour, I realize I intend to do some work, but the time is over. Uh, so I didn't pay attention to that. Correct or not, isn't it? It can happen like that. So so we can actually have a distraction index for us, in a scale of 1 to 10. How much I get distracted from the intended work in everything, that I do. So if I am highly getting distracted, that is a sign of a very weak mind. It's a mind which is very volatile mind. And that is the reason in those days the king's sons would go to the forest. The kings, like for Prachina Parishad is sending Prachetas to, you know, he told Prachetas that you ought to take up the kingdom next to me. You are my successor. Correct, no? For that you have to get married and then take the kingdom. So as soon as they heard they have to get married, where did they go? They didn't go to Shadi.com or something. you know, you know, they went to the forest. Because why? You go to the forest to, first control your senses, control your mind, and focus on the Supreme Lord. And these fellows did 10,000 years underwater austerity, and together also cooperating with one another. And then Ashtabhuja Vishnu gave darshan to them. And then uh, Lord blessed them also. They came with tremendous power. By the time the whole world had become grown up in thick vegetation, then simply by the mere glancing at the trees, they could emanate fire torches from their eyes, and they were burning down a lot of trees. And the demigod in charge of the trees became worried and went to Brahma, isn't it? And Brahma came and gave the daughter of the trees, what is her name? Pramlocha, is it? From Marisha, yeah. Marisha in marriage to Prachetas, and Daksha was born, I think, correct? Later on. Marisha, yeah. So, in this way, you will find they had the power of austerity when they finished, and they had power of devotion to Vishnu. So, Vishnu appeared also in front of them. And then they came back and took the rule after that. Now, when they are taking the rule, they will be able to do it well because they have already taken out time to focus their mind, focus their attention. So, when we want to achieve anything, we need concentration. First of all, focus, concentration, and determination also. Correct, no? So, such determination comes by such austerities, devotional austerities. And that is the reason you find all through Shastras, any pastime you read, somebody is doing some penances, correct, no? You see Ravana, Vibhishan, Kumbhakarna, all of them are going and doing austerities. Of course, they had their attitudes. You know, you know, Ravana asked some material benedictions, but Vibhishan asked a very wonderful thing. Vibhishan said, when I come across very difficult times in my life, where I'll be in crossroad, at that time let me not give up virtue. Like that he offered a prayer. So therefore, when he was kicked by his brother, that you are acting against my interest, when Ravana spoke like that, at that time he left Ravana and took the side of Rama, because this is the boon he got from Brahma, our Vibhishan. So, what is the purpose of tapasya? See, Brahmaji performed tapasya, we all know, in the dawn of creation. At that time everything was pitch dark. It was, when he got down from the lotus and walked through the stem, walked through the stem and came down to the navel of Vishnu. Even from navel of Vishnu, when he looked around, what did he see? It's only darkness. Why? Standing in the navel of Vishnu, he could not see anything. He saw only darkness because he has not yet done the homework of cleansing his eyes, cleansing his mind. Again, he climbed up and went and sat in the top of the lotus, and then the two syllables were spoken by Lord Vishnu. What were they? Tapa. And Lord Vishnu revealed the meaning of the austerity. What is austerity? He gave him Kama Gayatri mantra also. So then Brahma got into penances for 100 celestial years. And that tapasya brought him 4 fruits. In the Bhagavatam it is explained. The first fruit of his tapasya was Lord Vishnu showed his lotus feet. And then he saw the ankle bells. Then he saw the pitambar dhoti. Then he saw the jeweled belt in his hip. Then he saw the Kaustubha jewel in his chest. He saw the four bluish arms, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, everything. Then he saw the smiling face of the Lord with Mukut and Kundal and everything. And Lord, in his cheerful form was so charming. Brahma was extremely pleased. So, and Lord came forward and took his hand and he shook the hand of Brahma. First handshake of the universe, isn't it? So, first thing Lord gave him was appreciation. Then the Lord told him that now that you have performed your homework of austerities, now everything is revealed to you now. You can see me, you can see the world around you. And then Lord said, I will reveal the Vaikuntha to you now. So he gave a revelation. First he gave appreciation for the austerities, then he gave revelation of the spiritual world. When he showed the spiritual world, there he saw Nanda, Swananda, Arhana, all the associates of Lord Vishnu, beautiful men and women in the spiritual world. They were flying in Vaikuntha airplanes. He saw the Kalpavriksha trees and everything. So Brahma was amazed by the Chinmaya Jagat, spiritual world. Then he revealed to him, after revealing the spiritual world, he told him that since you have pleased me by your penances, I want to give you a responsible position. What is the position? Although there are millions of jivas I see in the lotus, like tiny sparks, like a jugno, like a glowworms, you are the best of the living entities. So therefore, I have chosen you to lead the whole universe. And then he told, I have done Sarga, you can do Visarga, you do secondary creation. He gave that homework to him. Mhm. And fourthly, he told him, now you can ask me for any benediction you want. So what is the first thing he gave? Appreciation. Then he gave revelation. Then responsible position. And fourthly, he told them. So and Brahma was thinking, what benediction to ask? Then Lord told Brahma, in this world, the greatest benediction is to get my darshan, which you already have obtained. So there is no better benediction. So it's better that you don't end up asking something useless. You already have got the best benediction of seeing me. The Lord said, nevertheless, if you have any other benediction to seek from me, I am ready to provide you. Tell me what you want. And Brahma said, my dear Lord, you are asking me to do secondary creation. What will I do? I don't know the procedure. I don't have any knowledge. You please give me the knowledge how I can do my duty. He said. And then he also said, while performing my duty, there may be vicious elements I may face, which may damage my devotional service to you. So, how do I deal with them? Please tell me. He asked also. So, like that, 3, 4 questions he asked. And Lord told him that if you always remember me, you will never face any failure in your attempts to attain me. And I will give you all the knowledge. You just do what I am telling you. So, you will see Brahma by one pointed attention and penance towards Lord Vishnu, as per the direction given. That's very much glorified. 100 celestial years is not ordinary period. A long period it is. And Brahma attained these 4 fruits of his austerities, which I told you just now. So, why in the Vedic times people performed austerity? The first purpose of austerity is uh, subduing the fickle mind and controlling the impure senses. Controlling the impure senses, subduing the fickle mind, focusing the intelligence in a one-pointed way. And that is the very first purpose. Because mind or the senses which are impure, they are like a computer with virus. They can't function properly. What is that virus I was telling in the beginning? The wandering of the mind and inattentiveness. That is due to the mind's impurities. And that's the reason why we struggle every day in our chanting with a wandering mind. But eventually, over the years, the mind has to become subdued because Prabhupada says to one of the disciples in his conversation, one disciple said, Prabhupada, when we chant the holy name, the mind wanders. We are not able to hear the sound. Prabhupada said, yes, Maya will pull you by making your mind wander, and you pull Maya towards Krishna. And then you try to call out the holy names loudly. And in this way, when there is a tug of war between the two, eventually Krishna will win. You'll be able to pay attention. and Maya will lose power for a period of time. She will lose grip on you eventually, like the Prabhupada said. And we have heard it. And if we are not able to implement it, something is wrong somewhere. We have to find out what is going wrong where. We have to find out. And what is going wrong is the 10th offense. Who can say? What is the 10th offense? How does it begin? Not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to chemical attachment. Even understanding so many instructions on this matter. People say like that. Na? So many means so many years we have heard lectures. Isn't it? So that means entertaining material absorption at the cost of hearing the holy name. That is the culprit. So now it is not that when I sit for chanting, my mind absorbs materially and then it's not allowing me to pay attention. It depends on our absorption during the whole day. Our whole day's lifestyle, uh, comes to the point of it has its direct impact and effect on the morning chanting. It has a direct. Once is known as Radhavan Maharaj was telling, you all know this famous verse, Ante Narayana Smriti, correct? No? Etaman Sankhya Yoga Abhyam, Swadharma Parinishtaya, Janmalava Parapumsam, Ante Narayana Smriti. So he was telling, most people in ISKCON think that Ante Narayana Smriti means at the time of death you have to think of Narayana, correct? No? That's what most people think. He said that's not the actual meaning. He said the actual meaning of the verse is, he said, when you come into Krishna consciousness movement, you hear some sadhus, you read some books, render some devotional service. Within few 3, 4, 5 years, you come to the correct conclusion that Ante Narayana Smriti. Remembrance of the Lord is the goal of life. There is no other goal. And you develop the conviction in this truth he was telling. That is Ante Narayana Smriti. That means arriving at this conclusion. If one is not arriving at this conclusion, if he is arriving at some other conclusion, then that person actually is processing many scriptures, reading. He has not been able to arrive at the right conclusion. Then he will take Bahunam Janmanamante, correct, no? Jnanaman Prapatite Vasudeva Sarvameti Samahatma Sudalabha. So after many lifetimes, a jnani comes to the conclusion. Whereas in the bhakti path, the best gift Guru gives to the disciple is the chanting of the holy name. There is no bigger gift. Because the holy name is like a capsule, which will unfold as we chant. Krishna's name unfolds Krishna's form and qualities and pastimes. And these things gradually absorb the mind of the devotee if you put a ink pen on a blotting paper, how it absorbs. The same manner, or if you put a sponge inside water, how it absorbs the water. So these are supposed to absorb the mind of a devotee. Now, what is the meaning of absorption? We need to explain a little bit. Because it is not just thinking. Absorption is much more than just thinking about it. Like you are hearing a pastime now. At that time you think about it suddenly when you are hearing. But when you talk about absorption, it is a background absorption of our mind, just like Bhishma Pitama in the battlefield is exchanging Virya Rasa with Krishna. His mind is absorbed in that form of Krishna as Parthasarathi, correct? Parthasarathi driving the chariot, like the Krishna is making sound, and is catching the ropes of the horses. And he is wearing the dazzling pitambar, dhoti, and the bluish form, Shamala Varna, which was glorified by Bhishma. Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamala Varnam. He glorified, no? Ravikara Gauravarambaram Dadane. He says your dhoti is shining like a sun, glittering sun. Papurala Kakula Vritana Namjam Vijaya Sakerati Rastumena Vadya. He's saying that the beautiful form of Krishna which I am seeing, I am more fortunate than even Arjuna also, he said. Arjuna is only getting to see back of Krishna. I am seeing front of Krishna. He was thinking like that. So, and he's calling him as a Vijaya Sakhe. Oh, friend of Arjuna. And he is calling with great affection because if this is the way you protect your friend Arjuna, I am very confident that you will protect me also because I am also your devotee. That is a mood in which Bhishma is singing all these prayers. So, same manner, one day in Kamyakavan, when Pandavas were all together, Krishna arrived there to talk to them. And as Krishna, they all asked Krishna, please tell us some Puranas replete with lessons, moral and spiritual lessons for us. When Krishna began to speak little bit, immediately Narada came. Krishna said, Narada is here, how can I speak now? Let Narada speak. Then Narada began speaking. He spoke a little bit. In the meantime, Markandeya Rishi came. Then Narada said, oh, Markandeya Rishi is very senior. Markandeya Rishi is millenniums. He has spent in this universe. Let us hear from him. So, many questions Yudhishthira Maharaj asked and he answered also. But one thing that he said was very dear to his heart was that Vatapatra Shai Krishna's darshan, which he saw in the time of Pralaya. All the waters were swallowed by that small child. Even when he saw the child in the banyan tree leaf, looking at that bluish child with curly locks of hair and dark eyes and the smiling beautiful face and bluish sapphire-like body with all the jewelry ornaments. And the child's smile was so charming, he forgot all his miseries completely. And then he asked the child, who are you? And the child didn't answer. He smiled and inhaled. Then he went into his body. And there he saw Himalayan mountains and all the oceans and pralaya happening inside his belly. He was surprised. What is this? Then the child, when he exhaled, he came out. And the child now spoke to him. My dear child, Markandeya, he said. He called him a child. He said, people call me Hari, they call me Vishnu, they call me Krishna, they call me by different names. And I am Adi Purusha. And you are my pure devotee. So I'll give you two benedictions. I'll give you Ichamrityu and I'll give you unfailing memory. These two things I'll award you. And then the beautiful child vanished from there. And Markandeya Rishi said, Pandavas, that child I saw as a Vatapatra Shai is none other than the same Krishna who is in the midst of all of you. He is moving around like a maternal cousin, but don't think of him to be a cousin. He is the Adi Purusha. He is a source of Anantakoti Brahmanda. As he went on adding Krishna's qualification, Pandavas couldn't restrain themselves. They all offered obeisances at Krishna's feet, including Yudhishthira also. Everybody. So Krishna felt ashamed. He felt, oh, they are all treating me as God, which he didn't want. So, again I am telling you, this is Markandeya Muni's absorption. Because whatever is our absorption, that is what we speak to others. Whatever is our absorption, that is what we keep meditating on naturally. So, I told you about Bhishma's absorption. Even in the battlefield where heads are flying, Bhishma is able to exchange love in a battlefield where heads are flying. It's an amazing thing that is. Similarly, what is Akrura's Manorath? If you see the two types of Manorath, one is called the spiritual Manorath, one is material Manorath. So, material Manorath of Kamsa is explained in the Bhagavad. Kamsa is calling Akrura, his minister, and telling, my dear minister Akrura, I want to share my heart with you. And then he says that, there are so many kantas in this world, kanta taunts in this world. Especially the first taunt is this Krishna Balaram. I am sending so many demons to kill them, they are not getting finished. And every time they kill the demons, I think it's because they are hiding in the bushes of Vrindavan. And like guerrilla warfare, they finish all the demons I send. Therefore, I want to see them brought here. And I have to make an arrangement to finish them. I'll finish them. Then I'll finish their father, Vasudeva. Then he said, I'll finish all his relatives and friends. And then he said, this oldie, Ugrasena, Ugrastenam to Staviram, he said. He is oldie, he called him. And he said, Rajya Kamukam. He said, what is the meaning? He said, oh, he is greedy for occupying the post, although he's an old man. I am supposed to be sitting there and he wants to be a king. I'll finish him also, he said. And then he said, Jarasandha, I don't have any quarrel with him because he has given his two daughters in marriage to me, Asti Prapti. So, Jarasandha Mama Guru, he said. He is like my guru. So, I will make friendship with him. And then he said, who are all my friends? And he said, different demons' names he took. A dozen names he took and said, all these friends are my allies and these are my enemies. And I'll finish all these enemies. And make allies with all my friends, and they'll be ruling the world for all time to come. This is called as Kamsa Manorath, Kamsa's Manorath, which is material Manorath. So in this world, everybody is dreaming. Huh? Everybody is dreaming. Somebody is revolving around dollar notes. Huh? Somebody is revolving around a very, very dream company. Huh? Somebody is revolving around, boy is revolving around a girl, girl is revolving around a boy. Huh? And in this way, you'll find everybody in this world has some dreams in this world. Material Manoraths are very common in this world. Huh? And some people have a dream house or a dream this, dream land, or dream this, dream that. So that is all material Manorath. And Akrura Manorath, you read when Akrura is entering Vrindavan, what was his absorption? You all know. Huh? How he was thinking of Krishna and Balaram and Vrindavan and cows and calves, and how Krishna will embrace him and all his sinful reactions will be gone. Huh? On the other hand, he was very humble also. Amayetat durlabam manye uttama shloka darshanam. He said it's like a Shudra studying the Vedic literature. Unqualified Shudra who never got Aksharabhyas also. And he is studying Vedic literature. Like that, I am entering Vrindavan and meeting Krishna. Although I am assisting sinful Kamsa. So he considered himself very lowly, and he glorified Krishna. So I was very amazed when I heard about Akrura, because Akrura is living in the midst of such a bad association of Kamsa, but is absorbed. So these are examples of absorption. Like the gopis' absorption, and Krishna also was seen when Uddhava had come to Vrindavan. Their absorption came out in the form of demonstrating the leelas also, of Krishna's leelas, of Krishna lifting over the hill, or Krishna dancing on Kaliya. It just came out of their personality. While hearing the class about leelas of Krishna from Uddhava, they got up and started performing the leelas. Isn't it? Generally, in this world, you see boys and girls in the college, when they see some movie and come back, many times they talk about the movies, and they also imitate the behavior of the actress or the actor. You've seen that? How they walk, how they talk, how they stylishly keep the hair and everything. So that is their absorption. What absorption it is? Material absorption. They imitate the actor or actress. They dress like them. They keep hairstyle like them. They imitate their activities, speeches, and everything. Some people memorize so much. Recently, my dear friend, there is one devotee called Nitya Mukta Prabhu in Tirupati temple. Very sweet devotee. I want to bring him to Pune sometimes in future. So naturally, from the heart, he will speak very beautifully. And he sings his Annamacharya songs and all very, very beautifully. So once I told him, Prabhu, you know these songs by heart. Long, long songs he would sing in his class as a part of the class. How do you remember so much? He said, Radheshyam Prabhu, how can I tell you my predicament? When I was a school boy, I used to buy cinema songs. I used to memorize the songs. Not only songs, I used to memorize the dialogues, what I saw in the movie. And when I would go to school, I would reveal it to my friends. The whole dialogue, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4. And he said, I would be surrounded by friends. All fellows will tell me, tell me next scene. Tell me what was this song, what was that song. And then he said, by my Guru's mercy, Guru caught me and brought me to Krishna consciousness. Now that ability I am doubting in Krishna consciousness. Now I am memorizing all the Vaishnava songs now, and Annamacharya songs and everything. And the dialogues of the Vaishnava characters in the Bhagavatam, correct, no? The same propensity, the same capacity or ability, but I am doubting in Krishna service, he was telling. So, in this way, we need that spiritual absorption. The spiritual absorption is the background thought that keeps going on in one's mind. See, in one of the Padyavali verses, Rupa Goswami says that Yashoda, although she has sent Krishna to forest in the morning, every 1 hour, every half an hour, she will keep seeing the road that comes from the forest back to her Nanda Bhavan. Maybe Krishna will come now, maybe Krishna will come now. In between her services, time to time she will see. And in Samadhi, she would get remembrance of Krishna returning. It will appear that Krishna is returning and he won't be there. And the evening time, when Krishna is supposed to return by 5 o'clock or something, there will be a big dust cloud raised by the hooves of the cows and calves. So then she will become doubtful because so much dust cloud is coming. Maybe my Kana is there. She would see, but she can't see in the dust cloud. How can you see? But she's so intelligent. She would send one tall gopi to go to the rooftop of Nanda Bhavan to see from there. So the tall gopi will see and say, yes. She will come back and tell Krishna that, yes, beyond the dust cloud I found Krishna and his friends and cow scarfs, everybody is coming. So, uh, so in that poem, Padyavali, he's saying that Krishna purposefully created the dust cloud to increase the intensity and love and curiosity of Yashoda to uh, meet Krishna. Krishna knew that Yashoda is already eager. He increased her eagerness infinite times. Hmm. But Yashoda is very intelligent. Her eagerness went beyond such a limit that she found out that Krishna is there. Isn't it? It's a competition between Lord and the devotee. So Yashoda, uh, there was one picture I saw uh, uh, in uh, in one of the books where Krishna is lying in the lap of Balaram, lying in the lap of one of the covered boys, and other covered boys are fanning him. One covered boy is singing, one covered boy is clapping hands, isn't it? Under the shady tree there. And below that, what would you write? If I ask you to give a title for that, you know, picture, what would you write? Any of you would like to give a title? Try it. Let us see. Give one title caption for this picture. You know the picture, right? What I am talking about? You've seen that, huh? What caption would you give? Yeah, Samsit Haritoshana. Okay. Anybody else? Acha, Tomar is a Govinda Vishram. So it's for the pure devotee in whose lap Krishna is lying. Okay, very good. Hmm. Shankar Biden Prabhu brought it this close and Mataji brought completely. She brought out the answer. The title given was Yashoda's Absorption. It was written. Although Yashoda is nowhere in that picture, but this is Yashoda's absorption. And we can also say, like she said, Gopi's absorption. Gopis are also thinking about Krishna going to forest. There is a Leela Smarana. One full chapter is there on that. Yeah. So, in this way, you find great devotees. One of the easiest ways they get attention is because of their absorption. So, when there is a background absorption in something, then the attention to bring is very, very easy. So, the purpose of all the Shastric study, uh, Prabhupada says in that chapter, see the new Krishna book, slightly as a changed version, I saw that in the old Krishna book which I have with me, it's written that it's a duty of the spiritual masters to help the disciple constantly remember Krishna through Leela Smarana. Like that it is given in that book. Now, in the latest edition, I saw it says that it's a duty of not duty. I mean, it says that by the reading of all the Krishna and everything, one should remember Krishna. Like that, it says. It doesn't talk about the duty of the guru to make the disciple remember Krishna. That was originally Prabhupada's Krishna book. It is there like that. I have still the old book. So now in the editing, sometimes certain things are changed, certain things here and there. So uh, it's actually a duty of the spiritual master to bring the disciple to that standard of remembering Krishna always. And that's the purpose of all our hearing, study of the scriptures, worship of the deities. Why do we worship the deity? Why do we study the scriptures? After studying scriptures, when you worship the deity, if you look at Gaurnita, all the pastimes come to mind. Gaurnita, Milan, how they met with one another, how they performed Leela together, how they performed Kirtan together, isn't it? When you read those. So, purpose of Shastric study is to increase the spiritual mental absorption. And when that absorption is increased, two things happen. One is we develop more seriousness in going back to Godhead. We don't want to play with material energy because material energy is very dangerous. We have played with it enough for millions of lifetimes. Now we definitely want to go back to Godhead in this very life. There is no question of turning back again. So when one takes the matter seriously, so in those days I prepared a uh, booklet from the Japa reform, It's called as improving our chanting. Hare Krishna. I did a seminar in this in Chennai temple in those days. One full day seminar we did. Further, I prepared this book. So in this book, this is actually from various books, 5, 6 different books. But here, one of the things on attentiveness, I will show you something interesting. So he gives some practical clues on attentiveness. He gives all the 10 offenses are explained after that. Here comes mind wandering problem. No? Hmm. See, although there are many books, one of the prominent books that I used is Japa Reform book. He says Japa is the barometer of your spiritual life. Your changes in consciousness will show up there, he says. Your changes in consciousness will show up in your Japa. Hmm. So Japa time we come to get if my Japa is very poor and inattentive, or I slept during chanting, or my mind wandered away. Sleeping is due to tamaguna and mind wandering is due to rajaguna. So if I find that happening, so it will show up there. When your japa is strong, then you are strong, he says. And then he says, controlling the car means keeping the car from going out of control. See, for example, I take the car and park it in the side and say, now my car is fully controlled. Is it the purpose? Actually, car should be moving also ahead. And therefore, Lord Krishna gives the example of tortoise. Tortoise, if you see, when there is danger, it withdraws the hands, legs, head, everything inside. When there is no danger, it is a progressive animal. It also keeps moving ahead. Similarly, in chanting also, we have to keep the mind in control and also chant. Yeah, not let the mind wander. So,
Send the Zoom link also. So if devotees want to join and see
yeah,
this.
yeah. So, various reasons are given here in the book. One is material attachments, which I already spoke about, I told you. He says, no, Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shuddha Habeman, Kabe Hame Heribo, Sri Vrindavan. He says, no. So we should become introspective, take apart the anarthas and rectify our situation to have an open road in our chanting, he says, so that we can go back to God very quickly. Okay. Here comes problems of inattention. So here in the three kinds of inattention Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about, isn't it? Mm. So yeah, this Audasanya is the worst actually because here you are wide awake, you are not sleeping, and also you are also not having mind wandering also. There is no mind wandering. There is no sleep also, but there is no interest in chanting. Hmm. One rich man came to Pune. He was about 68 or something. I met him in Camp Temple. I gave him Japamala. And 6 months later, when I met him once again, I asked, Mala diya aapko? Mala chal raha hai kya? I asked him, is it going on? Nahi, Swami ji, he said. शायद आपके पास टाइम नहीं है. You are very busy, I said. हम तो retired हैं. All my sons are taking care of business. I don't even go for business. क्या टाइम की क्या प्रॉब्लम है? दिन दिन भर के टाइम ही टाइम है. You are selling. And I was surprised. The problem क्या है? Then why are you, is there some responsibility at home? You want to settle the sons in marriage or something? No, no, all are married already and settled already. He said. Then what is the problem? Lagan nahi hai humko. You are selling. Huh? I don't have interest. He said. That is Audasanya. Audasanya word comes from Udasin. We are udasin to, actually we should be udasin to sense gratification, but we become udasin to chanting, he said. So further what he says, immediately approach Vaishnavas who are free from material influence and chant with them. Hmm. Inspired by the Vaishnavas' behavior, one desires to give up this frailty. So those who are intense chanters, His Holiness Logan Swami was telling that there are some people who chant so intensely you don't want to disturb them in that chanting, even if you have to tell them anything. One should chant intensely like that. Like the Prabhupada told the example of a small duck quacking. You heard that example? Many duck babies were quacking, but the smallest baby was quacking the most, he was telling. So mother decided to give the food to that baby, he was telling. So it is very helpful to see how advanced devotees concentrate on chanting. Whoever saw Srila Prabhupada chanting in pure love of God would become so touched in the heart that he wanted to chant in the same manner. He says, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur even recommends that inattentive chanter cover his eyes, ears and nose also, he says. As this helps to keep away any distraction and to fully concentrate on the holy name. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had one cement box in his house, you know that? He made one cement, this thing, box like this. He would go inside that and sit and tie his eyes with a blindfold cloth and cover the top also, and he would chant inside. He says, nose also here. Nose means not here. To this, huh? You have to breathe also, yeah. Yeah. Another one he says is laziness. Laziness means to stop chanting before finishing a round in order to attend to a so-called important activity, attending to a mobile call or attending to something. And then laziness due to rest. By this chanting, taste for chanting cannot develop because if one goes for a rest in between. According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, once you start chanting, for 4 rounds you should not take a break. After 4 rounds, it's called one kanti, he says. Then only you can take a break, he says. One kanti means, Bhaktivinoda. Yes, 4 rounds after complete, then you can take a break if you want. In between 4 rounds, one should not even change the pose. Even you cannot just put the sadhana also like this. He is very strict about it, His Holiness Bhakti Prahad Bhagavat Maharaj. He told us. The remedy is association with Vaishnavas who do not waste their time with useless talk or other material activities, but who constantly chant and remember the holy name. That means the jadya is lethargy and laziness, and those people who waste time. The third one is vikshepa, distraction. This is what we talked more today. To be absorbed in attraction for wealth, women, position, and material success results in distraction. While chanting the holy name will not really be heard. The attention is rather caught up by worldly worries, topics, and the mind can only concentrate on one item at the same time. It cannot do many things. So, in order to avoid distraction, one should follow the rules of Vaishnava etiquette. This means, for example, to stop thinking of eating on Ekadashi day, on appearance days, and other important festivals, and instead to chant the whole day and night in the association of Vaishnavas. See, when you fast on Ekadashi day, or when you make a vow, determined vow to climb up Tirupati hill, or things like that, then your determination increases. When you make a vow and you stick to it, then your determination increases. On Ekadashi day, instead of 16 rounds, you chant 32 rounds or 48 rounds. Then by chanting more quantity of rounds, also the determination increases. Yeah, you increase your spiritual muscles. Yeah? And I have personal experience. Once my spiritual master called all the 4 presidents of Bombay, and apart from them, myself and Gaurang Prabhu also in those days. 6 of us, he called and told, many great souls in Gaudiya Math, Bhaksan Thakur disciples, they chant 64 rounds many days. But he said, I feel that as leaders, you are all doing a lot of management. It will be nice if we can try to chant 64 rounds on Ekadashi day. He said, this is not my instruction. This is only my suggestion. He said, I know your life is very busy, but you can give a try. And the next Ekadashi came, and Maharaj was personally present. He would sit, and then we all would sit in the same room. Room number 5 used to be there in Chowpatty. So we sat near the walls like this. Continuous chanting we would do. So after we finished 64 rounds, Maharaj would get up and then he would do like this to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We were wondering what he said. Thank you for giving your company. Because if you see devotees persistently chanting on Ekadashi day, then you are also inspired to chant. But as soon as you see a devotee getting up with his mobile, going out, thinking that now I can't chant anymore, too many calls are coming, then nobody will be inspired, isn't it? So, in this way, he taught us, and then we started chanting. And wherever I went, whether I go to Calcutta for some preaching program, here, there, Ekadashi days, try to rise early in the morning and chant. And I cultivated the habit. Sometimes I couldn't complete 64, I finished 60 or 52 or something like that. But most of the time I try to finish. But if you do it, I'll tell you, the doing more rounds quantity also calms the mind. Mind is racing too much. By chanting more rounds, it calms the mind. So therefore, in conclusion, there are 5 solutions. See here for inattention. He says, devotee sometimes does not fully understand the necessity of calling on the holy name. He says, He doesn't, just like outsiders don't understand the value of human form of life. We don't know the urgency of Krishna consciousness. The overcoming attention, remember death, he says. Kulashekara. What is the famous verse? Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Manjarantam Adyaiva me Vishatu Manasa Rajahamsaha Prana Prayana Samaye Kavavata Pittair Kantavarodhana Vidhau Smaranam Kutaste. So, this kind of, this is one famous verse, this one. At the time of death, you will be forced to give up all the thoughts because we can't think anymore because we have to get out of the body. We are going to go to the next body after that. There's one famous song you must have heard. Keno Hare Krishna Naam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kandena Hare Krishna Hari Bole Mano Prana Kande. That's Bhaktivinoda Thakur song. He says, hey, my dear foolish mind, when will you think of Krishna's holy name attentively? I think only when you are going to be put on the stretcher and 4 people lift it and say Ram Nam Satya, only that time you will hear the holy name. Is it true? Are fool, at that time your tongue is incapable of chanting. You can't chant. Now you are alive. You have a tongue which can chant. Why don't you pay attention? Like that is asking. Isn't it? Yeah. So, and then remember sufferings in this world, he says. Generally, we don't cry out unless we are devastated. When we hear of accidents, dangerous and deadly diseases, pains, inabilities in old age, we become fearful. Otherwise, when we are youthful, full of vigor, we unfortunately fail to call out. And one time in Chowpat in the early morning, there was an earthquake. You know, the women were shaking. Nothing happened. But we all shouted Hare Krishna so loudly, piercing the sky. Maharaj told in Bhagavatam class, I prayed, let this earthquake go on forever. Maharaj was telling. And we all wondered, why Maharaj, you want earthquake for a long time? He said, otherwise you guys never chant the holy name loudly in my class when I request you. He said. Mhm. So we should hear the teachings of Kapila Deva from third canto, especially 30, 31, 32 chapters. Third canto. Prabhupada told the devotees to read that section when he was about to leave the body. The last part of his life. He didn't hear Gopi Gitam. He wanted to hear Lord Kapila's teachings. One should also take advantage of all the sufferings coming in one's own life to remember and take shelter of Krishna helplessly. Another thing is overcoming attention through prayerful mode. Be troubled, be bothered, he says. Even in the material world, reform comes only out of intolerance and injustice. Hamare maange purti karo. People raise the flag in companies also. Similarly, unless you protest against the wandering mind, we are not going to improve. Read Shikshashtakam prayers, like that. Read sections of scriptures where the holy name is glorified. That, yeah. Either he says. And then avoid complacency. A person who has overeaten has a heavy stomach and will not have any interest to eat. Even if you show him a plate full of gulab jamun also. In the same manner, sometimes our mind is very saturated. We are not. So avoid complacency. So I will give these notes. Yeah, and the document I'll give. I'll tell you the page number in this. Can you highlight also? Yeah. Oh no, this chapter. See, this is about overcoming attention. See, wherever this overcoming attention is given, all these things, there are points. It begins from here, you see. Inattention, page number 31. Yes. Page 31, 32, 33, all that you can go through. I think those documents are very good. Yeah, it's very good. I had prepared it many years ago. So I will share this with you. So in this way, the solution that Krishna is giving is feeding and fencing. Abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa is feeding and vairagya is fencing. See, feed your mind with good, clean, pure, powerful and positive thoughts. So I will take this another time. Today I was focusing on that. Sorry. I will give you that notes also. You can go through that. Yeah, you can share that notes. So let us summarize. Otherwise, we'll forget. What did I begin in the class today? I said we'll talk about paying attention in chanting, correct? No? That topic, how to increase our attention in chanting. And then I gave multiple examples for focus and concentration. That's true. Everything requires attention. What are examples?
Lecture also needs attention.
Correct. Yeah. Lecture and attention requires attention. Yeah, correct. How did you begin? Some examples, 4, 5 examples again. Driving car. What are the examples? Inattention in kitchen can burn the food. Yeah. Inattention in driving can cause accident, I was telling. Then I was giving some examples of attentively performed activities. 4, 5 activities I said. I showed you PowerPoint also. Huh? Welding, pouring oil. Huh? Sunrise, focusing on a paper and burning a paper. Correct. That's true. Huh? Arjuna, I have the word. Arjuna hate concentration. We talked about that. And then I said about, such kind of one thing at a time. Also we were talking. Right now, doing one thing at a time, not mixing things. Mixing things actually makes our endeavors weak. We are not effective. So therefore, what I do, if I have to study for next 1 hour, the computer, I disconnect from Wi-Fi. Because Wi-Fi is there, there's a tendency to immediately, browse this, browse that, get this, get that. Correct now. If you're disconnected, what you will do? You're handicapped. Now the only notes is there, only that you have to see now. So in this way, we can punish our mind, which is having tendency for distraction. Correct now? Your rascal mind, you have a tendency to hop and jump like a monkey. You monkey will tie your hands and legs. Now you study this. 1 hour you're going to study this now. Like that you can punish the mind, isn't it? So, and then I told you that then I was telling absorption. The background absorption is very vital for attention. Because once that background absorption, even during the day, what does our mind like? What do we absorb our mind in? So that is going to help or not help in our chanting. So then I told several examples of spiritual absorption. Quickly tell me only the names. Bhishma example I said, and then Prachetas. Oh, sorry, Prachetas example we told for, in those days, if people wanted attention, what they would do? You wanted focus in life, goal of life, concentration in doing anything. You have to go to forest, control the impure senses and the fickle mind, and we need focused intelligence. Brahma example we gave. Brahma got 4 gifts from Lord Vishnu, isn't it? 4 fruits of austerities. Akrura, Brahma. Manorath we spoke about. Material Manorath and spiritual Manorath. Because the material Manorath, the mind is wandering. Isn't it? Our Markandeya, yeah. So his Vatapatra Shahi absorption, and telling about the gopis absorption in Krishna's pastimes, Yashoda's absorption, all that we were talking, many examples of absorption. Why? Because if we are working on that spiritual absorption, then attention is very easy. And we will take the whole name very seriously. And the whole name will be very purposeful. And then toward the end, I showed you this book, Improving Our Chanting Hare Krishna booklet. So page 31 onwards, you can see few pages. That will give us some clue. I think in Pune also we taught. So that time Hemant Gopi Mataji asked a question. Prabhu, when we hear all these things, we immediately become serious. But down the line, after 3, 4 days, the same old story. You remember? Yeah. So, she may not. So I was telling that no. If we take it seriously, we will eventually we will be able to pay attention. And actually, mind becomes subdued by chanting more quantity of rounds. It's a duty of the spiritual master to inspire the disciple in spiritual absorption. Yes. Awaken the love for Krishna, the heart of the disciple. It's a Guru's duty actually. Whatever Guru speaks should ultimately lead us to that. Antenarana Smriti is not at the time of death. Even in a few years, we should become fixed up. This is what is the goal of life. Basically, what? I am convinced about the goal of life. Even in the first few years. Then you can walk in that road. You don't get diverted by anything else. Sometimes you find somebody is 10 years in Krishna consciousness, but he doesn't know what I'm supposed to do. I have to go because the focus has not come. Uh, yeah? Yeah. He says that Antyanarayana Smriti is not remembering the Lord at the time of death. He says that, after a few years, only one sadhaka comes to the conclusion that the remembrance of Krishna is my only goal. Whatever I do, that activity should lead me to remembrance of Krishna. Otherwise, my activities are useless. Samaya Vikyavala. Yeah, like that he says. Is it, huh? Is it? He will add realizations also.
But he will remember. Hey, honestly, it is notified. I was not tracking it. He didn't miss any point.
What I do when I hear class, I will write what the speaker speaks, but I'll add my points also. Because you remember also many points. See, for internally alert audience, you can continuously speak. Because when we are speaking, they can relate with it in their life very easily. But if they're not internally alert, their attention span is also very less. So
I will just tell about him. We had an NGO committee, and at the end they were giving reports of all the departments. They were giving some suggestions, strength, areas of improvement. And when the speaker finished, one department expert finished, he was sending this on our WhatsApp chat. And all were wondering, how he has written, whether he has given them in advance or what. Whether they are reading his notes or...
Oh, cut. Immediately made the notes, huh?
Immediately after he has finished, before the mic is passed on to the other speaker.
Very intelligent. Yeah. He was like that. Even in 95, 96, he was from college days, he was like that. Yeah, very attentive. The class also. He would ask brilliant questions also. Yeah. Therefore, he is reading book reading. He is doing daily 20 minutes or something like that. They finished all the small books, medium books, correct? Big books. You come to Bhagavad Gita now? Oh, now Bhagavatam is going on? Other books. Amazing. Very good habit. Yesterday, Rasvekar Prabhu invited me on an online meeting, and I was amazed. There were 55 people, and these people are coming every day, 1 hour 15 minutes with him, 7 to 8:15. He does. They started with Bhagavatam first canto. Now they have finished 4 chapters. Bhagavad Gita finished first, and then I was telling Prabhuji 1 hour 15 minutes is a little too much. I said, how so many people can come every day? He said, Prabhuji, they are coming at least 35 minimum come. He said 35 to 40. Then I told him, you keep it 1 hour, finish it, and then anybody want to hang around for 51 minutes question answer, you can do. Like that I said. So, but he's having, it's on a 5-day week or 5 days week, Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday you leave them. Correct. Very good. Because there are a lot of things to do now. Because, I'm telling as if you are catching and keeping them.
They are scared.
In those days, what he was doing, one day in a week he was doing Bhagavad Gita in one house, weekly once. Another day he was doing Bhagavatam, right, Prabhu? One house, CC. And Gita got over in few years now.
Yeah, Gita got CC
also. Amazing. He finished all the 3 books, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and CC.
He went to
Third canto. Now you have restarted now Bhagavatam. Very good example. I sometimes feel all counselors have some slot every day, 15-20 minutes with their counselees. It's a very good service it is. Reading. We are doing it in the college students, we are doing it. Similar thing.
Zoom program at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I have tomorrow morning also. Yeah. So that is, actually Wednesday I do for new boys, applied Bhagavad Gita, but Thursday, Friday I do for only youth preachers. In America, youth preachers are only grihasthas. No brahmachari is there. So they are about 35 of them. My goal is to reach to 100 people who will be youth preachers in America. East Coast and West Coast. Now all are not youth preachers. In this, 35, probably around 15, 20 maybe giving classes. Others are book distributors. So one group distributes books, gets contacts and gives it to preachers. Then they do preaching. Because those book distributors said that they feel very strongly for book distribution. They are strongly inspired by Vaisheshika Prabhu. So they want to distribute books. They say, whatever time we get, we want to go for book distribution. They do like that. So that's so we are trying to do in America like this. Every time I go, I want to increase, add a little, five more preachers like that. And these are grihasthas who will bring boys and girls, both are coming for the programs. Yeah. So attention is certainly a very important topic, and more than attention, I addressed on absorption. Next time when we come, we will talk a little more about what leads to absorption. What are some of the parameters that leads to that type of absorption? And also, we will talk more about attention. In the meantime, you can do the homework of just going through that notes, 4-5 pages only. You can just see that. That's based on Japari form notebook. So, the mic.
The Japa talk, I've been regularly hearing them every morning and evening.
Okay.
Sometimes more than 2-3 also.
Okay.
So I've seen that
there must be more than 1,000 now, I think.
Many projects. Year-wise they are there. I go on the Desire Tree, ISKCON Desire Tree, I hear.
ISKCON Desire Tree is there, man?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Is it?
I hear. Huh? I hear. You have given me on the website also.
Yeah, correct.
The password, everything. But I hear.
I think Desire Tree they were putting long before, I think. Old ones are there, I think. Yes. It is that till which year it is that?
I think 2020. I just will check.
Is it? Okay.
So I have seen that, sometimes on consecutive days or 3-4 days, you are speaking.
Series.
Connected topic.
Therefore, anybody here, they should hear in a series.
And if you hear that, we can give a lecture. That's what I am.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
If you want to prepare a lecture on a certain topic, then you should hear those 5-7 Japa talks.
Correct. I develop it. After 5-6 days, I give one final this thing.
And especially those about the 4 jnanis you were telling in one of the classes.
Correct. 4 types.
And about the meaning of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So, I am supposed to talk about 3 minutes only. Sometimes it becomes 5 minutes, I think. 5-6 minutes. 5 minutes average, yeah. I've been doing that whenever I can. I keep doing it. Yeah. Can you do 5 minutes kirtan? Last time Shankar Pandit Prabhu missed the kirtan. So therefore we will do kirtan this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Kaliyuga Pavana Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki. See, this song, this tune will be very pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know why? Because during the Anavasara period, Mahaprabhu goes to Alalnath. And when he lies on the stone, The stone melts, that? There's a depression there. No? So, on 20th, I think, darshan is opening, correct? 20th or 21st? 20th, no? Huh? One day before, yeah. One day before, yeah. So that's a day of Netrotsav. So that's the day. So if you sing these type of tunes, they are very pleasing to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this time, because these are feeling songs of Viraha. So it gels very well with his mood. Therefore, I sang this. Like we went to one house where somebody had passed one million's house. So if somebody goes and sings a very jolly tune, jolly tune, they become very angry. Hey, what is this? Your people are singing like this. After that, I made one set of some 5-6 tunes. I said, which tunes you can sing? I said, in the same manner, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sees Jagannath, he is ecstatic that time. Jagannath Puri is called as a Viparamba Kshetra, Mahaprabhu is Radharani, feeling separation from Jagannath, who is Krishna. And Jagannath is Krishna, who is feeling separation from Radharani. So these tunes are very much suitable at this time when Mahaprabhu is not get darshan of Jagannath. So why he goes to Alalnath? That is a secret. Anybody knows? What will he get in Alalnath by going there? Because
Krishna in 400 form, the Gopi
actually, if Krishna in 400 form, he'll become all the more upset. Isn't
There
it?
the gopis went searching Krishna.
Yeah.
That's what.
It's a Paita Krishna person. See, that Krishna who is standing in 400 form in Alalnath is not Vishnu.
Showing the form to the group.
Yeah. Later on, when Radharani comes, his 2 hands melts.
That's right.
That is why he goes there, yeah. Because when gopis lost the presence of Krishna, they searched Krishna. So he is in the same mood going to Alalnath and finding the 400 form of Vishnu there. And then the Rath Yatra will come on which day? Here in Pune it is 20?
25th Sunday, but I it's on 20th. Next week.
Oh, that is correct. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. This. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta ki.
Where is the Netra also 90?